Did you have a point growing up where you became a teenager and like the last time you played with toys?
Yeah.
When was it? Mine's very vivid in my head.
Oh, what's yours?
Okay, so I had G.I. Joes as a kid, and I had Playmobil. Okay, and I inherited these from, I guess, people before me, right? So like old G.I. Joes, old Playmobiles, right?
Yeah.
And I used to take the Playmobiles and I would spike their heads in the ceilings of there's visible screws in the ceiling of like the little room under the stairs, you know what I mean? So I had my Harry Potter room, but there was like exposed screws or whatever, and I would screw the fucking Playmobil down. Yeah, so I basically had like all these spiked little Playmobil fellas. Anyway, the last time that I remember like really playing with shit like this, it was Naruto related, because I was like, probably, I don't know, between the ages of 8 and 11. And I actually bought a headband, okay?
I have a headband.
Cool. All right. So look at us. We're relating on so many dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, so I went to a summer camp once, and there was there's a kid who was like 2 or 3 years older than me. And it was so strange because I told one kid who was a year older than me, who I kind of knew. I was like, yeah, I'm into Naruto. Do you read Naruto? I'm like, yeah, this is some edgy shit, man. This is that good shit. And he was like, oh, no way, dude. I know a guy at this summer camp who also is into Naruto. And I go to this guy, and this guy, let's just say, instinctively, I thought he was cool because he was older than me. He didn't look uncool, I guess.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker just does all the hand signs. And, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting mogged. Like, I was literally getting mogged, right? Like, because I didn't know shit. I was like, what the fuck? He's like trying to teach me the hand signs.
Yeah.
This is interlinked with my first time using YouTube. He told me I learned to do these on YouTube, okay? And so this is like the first time I ever went on YouTube, basically. Mm-hmm. I looked up videos of the hand signs, and I realized, like, pretty quickly, and it's partially cope because it was annoying and I couldn't learn how to do it properly.
It's hard.
But yeah, but I basically defaulted to, okay, this is fucking stupid. This is like for losers. And so I realized, oh yeah, okay, so like playing with this stuff, this is for losers, but I also found like Naruto AMVs. And I was like, okay, this is where the shit's at, right? And so from that day forward, I wanted to learn how to edit AMVs or whatever. But that's basically when I dropped the toys, more or less. And I moved on to like, videos where it's at.
What age was this?
This was like 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, that's the time.
Yeah.
Have you heard that one comedian story about how he started smoking really young, and there was a crossover between him playing with toys and smoking?
What?
Yeah, so he was like playing with G.I. Joes, and he was like playing with WWE dolls.
Okay.
And he'd be like smoking cigarettes while like making the dolls fight.
That's awesome.
Because the overlap in his life.
Was he like, that's kind of, you're selling that kind of, that sounds badass.
Yeah, being 12 years old, having that like that brief window.
The idea of a 12-year-old playing with like a fucking G.I. Joe and just being like, oh, like smashing these things together. It's giving me Sid from fucking what is it, Toy Story?
Yeah, no, I knew one of my best friends growing up was like that. The first time he smoked a cigarette was grade 7, then he got his first blowjob when he was in grade 7.
That's badass.
But then there's like this overlap of him being like a squeaker kid who would like cry when he fell down, and we'd like go to his house and play with toys. And he was also getting head.
Days.
And he was like he was selling weed too.
Was he an only child? Must have had older.
He was the oldest boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Set an example.
It was crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
I never knew what to do around him because we'd play with toys, and he'd like start talking about weed and like show me his weed and his joints and shit when we were 12 years old.
Yeah, so like, was he smoking butts or he was literally getting cigarettes somehow? Like, he had to have a connection. He had to have like an older cousin.
So this kid, the guy across from him thought he was a blood, and he had an Uzi. And so he'd invite us over to his. He was 20. Bro, he was 25.
This is Halifax, right?
This is Truro.
This
is rural Nova Scotia. So he was 25, and we were all like 12.
Crazy.
And he'd invite us over to show us his guns.
Dude, this is
and then he was like the cigarette, weed, beer connection.
He was the plug on that front.
It's so creepy retrospectively.
But at the time, you were like, this is sick.
This guy's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah, this guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's fucking crazy. Where's that guy now?
I don't know. He really thought he was a blood. He was a white guy.
Yeah.
He's a white guy. He'd wear the red bandana in his back pocket in rural Nova Scotia. It was fucking hilarious.
Awesome.